Days without water, lonesome so close. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Nights without sleep. The night and days without eating. 'Cause it ain't enough, and it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It is freezing. I will keep you warm. I will hold you closer so you don't feel the cold. And it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Leather jacket on the ground. Always such a cool guy. Knew life was, but baby you're the same. I see it from afar. You haven't changed a bit. And you still make a change. How it feels. I'm glad that I moved on, but heaven knows how you broke me down. Haven't seen you in there. I don't miss you yet. I hope you do. Yeah, I hope that you think of me. See my face in changes in the street. You still picture me there, dancing in the dark. I bet your heart skips a beat when you see something that reminds you of me. Baby, when you drink tequila, you still picture me there beside you in the dark. I hope it hits you hard. It feels good to know you want me back. You took me for granted, now I got the upper hand. Tables Every time you drink tequila, you still picture me there, dancing in the dark. I bet your heart skips a beat when you see something that reminds you of me. Baby, when you drink tequila, you still picture me there, dancing in the dark.
dimostrano sempre un'espressione triste e tanti malessere. Spiegati perché non capire che cose. Parla. Una cosa che fate voi, diciamo che io sono compatibilista, non mi dico altre cose. Vedete sveglia, magari tu potresti dirgli che esistono delle cure. Io?
Shari,
Per dormire sua moglie, quindi...
vieni a mangiare, Riva. Dai, è pronto.
Sì?
Perfetto!